Okay, I think we're ready. We'll go on and call the meeting of the Madison County Fiscal Court to order. Kenny?
Master King?
Here.
Master Barger?
Here.
Master Hughes?
Here.
Master Combs?
Here.
Judge Clark?
Here. You all have had a chance to look at the minutes of the last meeting. If there are no changes or discussion, a motion will be in order to approve those as submitted in your packets.
So moved. Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Treasurer's report. Glenna?
Past treasurer's report today is actually the end of the fiscal year, ending June 30th, 2012. And our account balance as of the end of June 30th, 2012 is $4,496,194.88 total. Our general fund balance is $3,434,485.85, which is $192,000 up from last year. So we're ending this year $192,000 up from last year on our general fund. If you look at our general fund, our total for what we brought in for the year, we brought in 87% on our revenues, and we spent out 65.2% on our expenditures. Our road fund brought in 97.5% of the revenues budgeted and spent out 94.8%. Our jail fund brought in 99.7% and spent out 95%. Our CSEP fund brought in 66.3% of the estimated revenues and spent out 65.2%. Our 911 brought in 102.2% and spent out 95.5%. And we budgeted and amended that in the extra on the 911.
Where do you get 102?
Last year, Berea ended up paying their allotment for the previous year plus this year's allotment, so we'd only budgeted for one. They brought in $30,000 extra.
Okay.
Is there any questions? So we ended up very well for the year.
Okay. Thanks, Glenna. That's good. You bring in more than you did last year. In these times, it's a good deal. Get into the order of business, and first, we're very honored today to have Paula White with Bora, and they will talk a little bit about the Battle of Richmond reenactment. And Paula, if you'd like to come up, and anybody that you have with you, it looks like you've got a couple people with you today.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Paula White. I'm currently serving as the president of the Battle of Richmond Association. And with me are Greg and Charlena Tipton. They are also Bora members. Greg is currently serving as the secretary of the Battle of Richmond Association. This year commemorates our 150th anniversary of this event that took place in Madison County. And to sort of kick that off, we are starting on August the 17th, which is a Friday, with the Battle of Richmond Association Roy and Sue Kidd Scholarship Fund. We're presenting the Preservation Shootout Classic Celebrity Golf Tournament. Isn't that a mouthful? This will be held at Battlefield Golf Course, again, on the 17th of August, and you can contact Battlefield Golf Course for more information, or the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center, and that number is 624-0013. Then, to commemorate the actual battle of Richmond on the 150th anniversary, we will hold our reenactment on Saturday and Sunday, August the 25th and 26th at Battlefield Park. Our camps and the park opens on Saturday at 10 a.m. We do have guest speakers and various living history demonstrations throughout the day, Saturday and Sunday. The battle at Battlefield Park will take place at 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Bring your lawn chairs, and we'll have refreshments there available for you to purchase, but you should see a spectacular battle this year. We already have approximately 150 reenactors who have pre-registered for this event. There will be others that will walk on, so we're expecting a lot of reenactors this year. Now, to commemorate the 150th as a special treat, in conjunction with the Bluegrass Army Depot, Sunday morning at 9:30, there will be a skirmish on the federal property at the Bluegrass Army Depot. This, of course, is open to the public, and we are so thrilled that we got the privilege to do this on that federal property. This has never been done on an active military installation before. We are a first, and we are quite proud of that. Now, that battle is at 9:30 on that Sunday morning, so you might want to get there early. On August the 30th, to actually remember those soldiers who fought here in Madison County, both Union and Confederate, there will be a remembrance service held at Mount Zion Church at 7 o'clock on Thursday, August the 30th, to remember those soldiers who fought. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Fiscal Court, Judge Clark, and the magistrates and all who have been so supportive with the Battle of Richmond Association and Battlefield Park. Without your support and your help, we could not have accomplished any of this, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Also, I'd like to thank Phil Seifert and Paul Rominger for their undevoted dedication to the endeavors that we have at the park. Phil does a phenomenal job in running the park and all of the special activities that go on out there, and Dr. Rominger too. We couldn't do it without him, and we can't do it without you all. So thank you so much from the Battle of Richmond Association. Y'all come out to the park and watch our soldiers have a good time. Thank you.
Thanks, Paula. And if you'd just stand there just a second. You thank us, but we thank you, because everything wouldn't work without all the time and dedication that you and everybody involved with Bora put into this, working with Philip and Paul. And we thought it would be fitting, myself and the Fiscal Court, if we just did a small proclamation in thanks to you and Bora of kind of helping us out. And whereas the Battle of Richmond, Kentucky was fought on August 29th and 30th, 1862 in Madison County, and whereas 2012 is the sesquicentennial anniversary of the Civil War battle, and whereas there were a total of 10 states represented at the Battle of Richmond, and whereas in tribute to the brave men of both the Union and Confederacy who fought at the Battle of Richmond, now therefore it be resolved, I, Kent Clark, Madison County Judge Executive, along with the members of the Madison County Fiscal Court, do hereby proclaim August 30th, 2012 as Battle of Richmond, Kentucky Day in Madison County, Kentucky, in honor and respect the soldiers, both Union and Confederate, who fought in the Battle of Richmond, Kentucky in August of 1862. Hereby order that all flags on Madison County government buildings and facilities be flown at half-staff on this day, and encourage all citizens of Madison County to do likewise. And I can't get around to you, but if you'd like to come around or pass it down. And again, we can't tell you all because it wouldn't be possible. I mean, we're there, but it wouldn't be possible without you all. So we appreciate you so much. We really do.
Thank you so much, Judge. It's a cooperative effort, and your group in Fiscal Court and our little group, our little Battle of Richmond Association, work very well hand in hand. And I hope in future generations this will continue, because we have such a jewel here with our county park. And I'm so proud, and so proud of those who have worked and helped to make this possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for taking the time to come in today. Okay. Next on the agenda, Leroy called me yesterday, and he had planned on being here. He's got personnel hire, and he had his days mixed up on his doctor's report. I think Judy washed his wallet and with all his papers, so he wasn't sure, but he had a doctor's appointment. But he would like to recommend to hire Mike Powell. He's a CDL driver and got his CDL license. Been with us a while back, and he's an excellent employee. And Leroy would like to ask the court's permission to allow him to hire Mike, and he'll start at $11 an hour.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Next, I have a couple of appointments to do today. One is this guy, I've known him for a month or two, but anyway, he's doing a great job on Southern Madison Water, and they're doing just great expansions, and they're using their money wisely, and they're going after grants. And we've really got a great combination of that Madison Southern Board down there. So at this time, I'd like the court's permission to reappoint Mr. Mike Coyle to the Southern Madison Water Board.
So moved.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Next, Paul Melius, who's just stays and does an excellent job on the Board of Adjustments. I can't say enough about Paul and given the time and energy to participate on this. And Paul has agreed to serve another term on the Madison County Board of Adjustments. So with the court's permission, I would like to reappoint Paul Melius to the Madison County Board of Adjustments.
So moved.
Second.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger? Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. Next on the agenda, and I just need the court's permission to authorize me to sign a grant application, and this will come out of the tobacco settlement funding. We're asking for money. We won't get it all to buy a new dead animal pickup truck. It's not a pickup truck, but it's a pickup animal truck. They feel like that, it's a really good application, and Cheryl's been working on it, Scott's been working on it, and we've got it put it together, and hopefully we can get enough money to buy a new truck. And I'd like the court's permission to authorize me to sign this grant application with the tobacco settlement funds and the Madison County Committee to apply for a new dead animal truck.
So moved.
Master King?
Yes.
Master Barger?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Clark?
Yes. I don't really have anything in the judge's report today. I think we have a few really good department heads. I know Clay's here, so Carl's here. Let's go into department heads, and whoever wants, Clay, you want to come on up and tell us about the outstanding year you had at the golf course this past year, except for a little weather here and there.
Yeah. I'll pass those out. I think I have enough copies there. Well, as Judge said, I've been waiting for some time to come up here and give this report. 5 years ago, Judge and I sat down and we talked about where the golf course was going to go and what we needed to do to make it competitive in our environment. And with his help and with a lot of hard work, we have some really outstanding numbers to report today. First of all, I'll just start with the rounds of golf. In 2010-11 fiscal year, we reported 16,923 rounds of golf. And in 2011-12, we have reported 19,751 rounds of golf, which is a 16% growth, 2,828 new rounds of golf that we found in the year 2011-2012, that fiscal year. So what does that mean as far as rounds of golf and extra plays? We've increased play at the golf course incrementally every single year against the odds of the economy and against some very, very strange weather patterns. This year it really helped us. We didn't have any rain in May and June, but the heat was really oppressive. So we had some struggles on the grounds to keep some of the grass hydrated and things of that nature, but we were still able to increase the growth at the course. And we've done that through really improving the conditions of the course. 5 years ago, Judge and I decided to talk about some extra capitalization that we thought would be necessary to increase the play at the course to make it more attractive. And I am so pleased to report for this fiscal year that we have broken the $500,000 barrier in revenue. We set a revenue target last year at $474,000 to our budget, and we actually, our actual revenue, we're actually $509,199 for the 11-12 fiscal year. and I hope everybody can understand on $15 and $20 green fees what that means as far as increasing that revenue. So not only did we increase revenue over $30,000 to budget, but as you can see, we increased revenue $83,627 over the year on top of year as it is related to the fiscal years. So I think that's an outstanding performance by the golf course. And again, given the current economic conditions, it was a very, very positive year for us. The expense levels rose $9,000 for a 1% growth in expense. When you have extra revenue, you're always going to have a little extra expense. But I'm pleased to report that most of our expense was related to gas price, fuel cost. It's been very difficult to manage the fuel cost over the last couple of years given the increase. We kept on betting it to go down, and about $7,500 to $8,500, I believe, of the over budget costs that we incurred were related to gas prices, fuel costs. Fuel costs impact so many other things in the golf industry, fertilizer and things of that nature, shipping costs and things of that nature. So when we have large chemical applications, those and fertilizer applications, those will gas prices will affect those costs as well. But I'm pleased to present the most important part is our deficit was only $35,223 this year. That's almost a $75,000 improvement year on top of year, and that's less than 1% of the county's total budget and only 6% of the golf course's total budget. So to me, that's very, very close to break even. That was the goal that Judge Clark and I wanted to do. We had a 5-year plan to try to break even. Given the state of the golf course conditions, where our reputation was, what we wanted to accomplish, and we did it in an economy that's just not conducive to growth. And our golf course has grown incrementally in that 5-year period more than any other golf course in this area that I can think of. Given the idea that we had 489 golf course closings in the United States, and those are the numbers given to us by the National Golf Foundation, and only 17 golf courses opened last year. And those are National Golf Foundation numbers. That our little golf course is plugging along, it's beginning to pay for itself, it's become a large revenue producer in the county, and I am so pleased to be affiliated with the golf course and with the county and with the fiscal court. The dollars per round grew by 2%. Now, dollars per round is what we use as a gauge for how we're going to pay for the course. How many dollars do we bring in for every person that we send out? It was $18 per round in 2007. We've risen to $25.78, given the extra revenue and given all the variables that we have. We've been able to increase the dollars per round growth. Now, as you increase rounds sometimes, you decrease dollars per round, but that's not the case in our case. We've been able to double up. We've been able to increase our dollars per round and increase our activity. And that is a very good benchmark to understand for golf operations. Our merchandise and food and beverage operations, our concessions, we were able to turn $26,399 in net profit back to the county. Net profit after expense, after cost of sales, after all the ancillary items that we need to pay for the concessions. We gave the county $26,399 in net profit on our merchandise and our food and beverage. And the telltale sign of how we're going to improve at Battlefield is we have to capture customers. That means we have to get people to commit to us so we can commit back to them. Our membership dues for the 11-12 fiscal year grew by $14,000 or 21% up to $79,050 in revenue, and we now have 220 active members at Battlefield Golf Club. And that is an extraordinary number, given the fact that in 2007 we started with 93. 220 members. So I am so pleased to report that to the fiscal court. And in 2010, one of the things I think that was very important that we did was we started gauging, I came up with a gauge for weather. we have a weather-driven business, and whoever was doing the rain dance for us in June, stop. We've got so much rain going on right now. We're caught back up. Our ponds are filled back up. We don't have any irrigation issues now. You know, it didn't rain for 45 days. I thought that was funny. Nobody laughed or anything. But we came up with a weather rating system. Our weather, even though we've had a lot of rain, a lot of high temperatures, our weather's still been 6% better than it was in 11-12. And what we've done is considered rainfall, heat and temperature, snow. We were able to play a lot of golf in the winter because of the mild temperatures this year. And so we've gauged our weather as 6% better than it was in 10-11. Overall, the notes for the golf course are, as I've already stated, the golf course is doing very well. As Mrs. White said, we're having our 150th reenactment this month. We're having the golf course. The golf course is hosting the tournament on August the 17th. It's a very successful event, very well-run tournament, and I'm very pleased to give the fiscal court these numbers, and I'll take any questions you may have at this time, and I want to thank everybody for their concerted effort. I want to thank Glenna and her office for taking my phone calls, which can be trying at times. I want to thank Judge Clark for his support of everything that he has done for the course, and of my office, and of everybody who, it's a team effort here, and I really do appreciate it.
Any questions?
I'm impressed with the numbers. I mean, we all said from the start, if it break even, we'd think we was flying, you know, so we're pretty close to there. I was just curious, you got any idea what percentage of the depot people plays golf there?
You know, that's a good question. I do have an idea. It'd be a shot in the dark, but I let's just say this: we get a lot of play from the Bluegrass Army Depot,
Well, I
as
assume
far
that you
as
probably will.
as far as the employees and our men's league, and I know I know the implications that you're talking about. I've thought about that quite a bit myself, and we do have quite a bit of play from there.
It's interesting. You know, you're talking about weather, Clay. I saw in the news the other night that July was the second hottest in the history since they've been keeping records, and the ninth wettest
Yes.
since they've been keeping records.
Yeah, you know, when you're a weather business, you have to pay attention to it all the time. And one of the things that's been interesting is that we've had all this rain in late July and early August. This time of year, we're usually not mowing grass. You know, we're usually down to mowing our roughs one time a week. You know, we don't have to mow our practice areas and things of that nature because we just don't have that much growth agriculturally. And now we're back to mowing grass like we did in March. And then we didn't mow any grass in June. So, but we had to go around the golf course, and we had our crews there, you know, keeping everything alive on our short grasses with a lot of hand watering. We were worried about water in June. Now we're not worried a bit. But one other thing I'd like to add is the tournament activity. We are scheduled for 38 events at Battlefield Golf Club this year. 38 charity events, 38 events because we offer such an attractive venue. One of the things that might have to come down the road, we have not adjusted prices in 6 years. So we might have to talk about a minuscule price adjustment. And we can thank Judge Clark for you know, he's talked me through price increases quite a bit, and he feels like that the golf course provides a great service for residents. I agree. Great service for county residents, great service for neighboring county residents, and the value that we offer is great for folks to come and play. And when we offer the service that we have at the price that we have, you just can't beat it. Given course conditions, availabilities, tournament activities, and it gives people an opportunity to enjoy their recreation, which is very high on the survey list, I believe, for a very, very reasonable price.
Done an excellent job, Clay. Of course,
Thank you.
there's no question about it. 5 years ago, we sat down and put together a plan. You're almost there.
Almost.
So close.
Almost.
And in the meantime, we've been able to do a lot of interesting things to the course, and you've got some ideas on a few more interesting things that'll
I do.
help out that much more. But it's really good, and the one thing that I'm really proud about is Clay's accomplished this, and we haven't ever raised rates. It's been suggested by our pros sometimes, but I said as long as we can get this close, then, keep it down to where everybody can afford to play golf. Thanks, Clay.
Thank you all so much.
Okay. Any more department heads? Carl, do you have anything today?
Yeah, I do have a couple quick items. On July the 27th, it was a Friday, we went up to the National Weather Service in Louisville and completed our process for storm-ready certification. So now we're one of the counties in the Commonwealth that are storm-ready certified. They'll be getting with us to establish a press event and give us the little certificates and the two road signs that we get as part of it. It's a pretty long process. We've been working on it for about a year to meet all the criteria. We went over our checklist with them, and everything was acceptable to them on that Friday the 27th, so I'm proud to announce that. August 14th at 6 p.m. we'll have the airport exercise. I mentioned it at last fiscal court. That's still a go. September the 19th, we'll have our CSEP federally graded exercise. And then the other thing I'm sure it's on everyone's mind is the rainfall numbers from this weekend. Based on storm-ready certification, we have 6 weather gauges in the community that we check daily, except for on the weekends. We check them on Monday morning. If you look at the 3-day totals from Friday, Saturday, of Sunday of last week, none of the numbers are that significant with the exception of one. You look at the amount of rain that fell within the city of Richmond downtown area, and that rain gauge we have on Friday, and it was 3.54 inches in a couple hours. That's why we had the flooding events that we had in downtown Richmond. You look at Saturday, they had 0 rain on that same gauge, and on Sunday they had 0.2. You look at the other rain gauges, and the next highest number on that Friday was out at the depot, which is gauge number 7, it was 1.58 inches. Other than that, you can go the entire week in Berea, the entire 3-day period, 1.38 inches, and as low as 0.17 inches for 3 days at Whitehall. That's how that storm was so focused. If you were under it, you got a deluge. If you weren't under it, you got a sprinkle. 3 days getting less than 1/4 of an inch of rain at Whitehall. So just wanted to share those numbers with you guys. Any questions? All right.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks.
Dwayne, do you have anything? Michelle? Michelle is our home incarceration coordinator, supervisor, and she's going to give us a report, and I think
Before I get off on that, I'm not sure if y'all are aware of how jealous Frankfurt is of y'all's park system. I worked there for 20 years, and a lot of people that we had that I worked with came up here for sporting events and so forth, and they would come up to me and go, man, I just can't believe Frankfurt cannot put a park system in like Richmond does. So you're being talked about all over the state, particularly in the capital city. But on to my line of work, which is the home incarceration program. I want to give you kind of a rough overview of what has transpired from the beginning up to this point. On June 13th of 2012 was when we began the program. It's when we hooked up our very first person. And since this time, we have deposited $9,777.56 into the accounts. We did not use approximately $75,000, which we had allocated for the startup of the project, and that was due to the difference of the end of the year projections, how physical court ends their year and the sheriff's department ends theirs. Actively right now, we currently have 36 actively on monitors. We have 6 sitting in jail due to the furlough and the long weekend that are waiting to be hooked up, besides what we may get tomorrow during arraignments. And we also have one out of a request out of Jefferson County. Apparently a gentleman got lodged there, lives here, and Jefferson County courts are asking us if we would assist them in monitoring that subject. I explained the process to them, how their attorneys have to sign everything and their judges, so we don't have a problem with it. Everything has to be officially done and signed and taken care of, just like we would do it here. It doesn't change.
Jill, let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
If he comes home and he gets on the bracelet here, that doesn't make us responsible for his transportation back to Jefferson County for court, does
No,
it?
sir.
Okay.
He's responsible for his own. Approximately 28 of these people on our monitors have been indicted, so they're going to be on our system for quite a while. Along with those that are indicted, we're hooking up at least 2, sometimes even 5 a day on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays after jail dockets. We've had as many as 5 in our office being hooked up at a time. So district court grows rapidly, but I don't think when we start off we expected so many to be indicted that we have. And like I said, 85% of them are under circuit court divisions now. 8 of our clients, I'm not sure people are aware of this, 8 of our clients are living out of county. We have 1 as far as London, we have 2 in Irvine, Mount Sterling. These situations make it very hard to do home checks. It's a time-consuming process to drive all the way to London and check on somebody. It takes more time out of your day, sometimes out of your night. I'm not sure people were expecting that, and the situation is, if you get arrested in this county, you're under these orders. But you're still allowed to live where you want to live as long as it is signed off of through our county attorney's office, their attorney, and our judge's system. We have to honor those orders. Each client creates an extensive amount of paperwork. I'm not sure people realize the amount of paperwork involved. Each client takes at least 30 to 45 minutes to be processed into the computer system and placed on a monitor. When an individual is ordered onto an ankle monitor, the client has to be interviewed. The paperwork must be signed off on by the client. We have to find his attorney. They have to sign off on it. Somebody from Mark Robbins' office has to sign off on it, and then the judge signs off on it. Where we may run into a problem sometimes if it's a weekend. For example, Judge Neal may be the ordering judge that night for pretrial and say, okay, $500 bond, you get out on ankle monitor. We come in Monday, he's in Clark County, so it's going to take another day to process that person. Once all that's done and taken care of, we contact the jail. Jail, we let them know we're ready to go. They take care of the bond issues. They call us, say, hey, okay, he's bonded out, he's ready to go. Due to their extensive activity they have over there and such a situation of their jail, the environment itself by their inmates, the environment they create, sometimes it may take them up to an hour to get somebody ready. So here we are waiting for an hour to get them. We go to jail, we walk them over. Here's another 35, 40 minutes to take care of that. It's always nice when one person can be putting them in a computer and one person can walk to the jail and get them over there. It creates a little better situation there. We have a good working relationship with the jail. Doug and me are always talking about ways we can, make this a little smoother, a little better running situation. Due to the fact that, we can't turn in overtime, I hold comp time. Not quite sure when I'm going to get to take it. I have a part-timer who works for me, and God bless him, he volunteers a lot and doesn't get paid for it. I would say he probably works full-time hours and just takes his part-time pay. He's a good guy and wants to learn. There are many times we need to be in 2 places at once, such as today. We have family court at 1:30 and we have district court at 1:30. Obviously, I can't be in 2 places at once. That splits me in half. The office has to be closed at that point. Situation's about to even get worse due to the amount of clients that have been moved from district to circuit court. Currently, we've not been able to attend circuit court. We really haven't had that great amount of people in there. But obviously, it's something that's going to have to start happening so we know what's going on over there with our inmates. We're in deep need of some help, that's for sure. By doing this, we can run a more efficient office. And when the program was presented, I'm not quite sure the gentleman who presented to you gave you all the facts. He's a great guy, but Clark County runs their system a little different than we do. And the last time I talked to the gentleman over there, and forgive me, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, he has 14 inmates on a monitor compared to our 42 that we're going to have. There's a big difference when you're watching 14 and 42 and running out all hours of the night for violations and so forth. Also, what he didn't inform you of is this company, Stop, that does our monitors, they renew those monitors every 6 months. They send us all new ones that have been upgraded. We send all our old ones back to them. A month before this is done, they do a training session. They pay for everything. The county puts out nothing in the training. They pay the airline tickets, the room, and your food. But you have to be trained before those new monitors come in so you know how to use them. Because they're changing systems, such as right now we use GPS systems and satellite. They're trying to go to the RF systems because you have a lot of dead areas that aren't picking up GPS. We have a couple of spots like that in Madison County that we have to put home boxes in. Due to the amount of activity we have during the day, we're not in a position to do home checks. We've probably been able to do 5 home checks since it started. because by the time we're dealing with courts all day long and we're getting everybody hooked up, and I only got my part-timer Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we don't have any more time to do home checks. I mean, we get them in there when we can get them. In order to run our office with a part-timer and one full-timer, I would have to close my office on Tuesdays and Thursdays to do that, because I can't
Well,
use
I don't
them.
want to interrupt you, Michelle, but
I'm
Sheriff
gonna get off
Combs
this subject.
and Officer Cole and I met for an extended time yesterday, and this was part of the meeting, and I think we're kind of all in agreement, Mike, that, on your recommendation, we're ready to hire another part-time individual where you've got somebody Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Well, if I may, there's your problem. You can only work them 3 days a week. It takes 2 people. And if you work those 2 people when I'm not here on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to shut your office down Tuesday, Thursday, because you can't work them anymore. Me and Glenna were discussing that as the hours of how many hours I was allowed to work my part-timer, and that you can't go over that because you fall into the retirement having to pay that. We do the best we can do, and that's all we can do is all work together and try to find a feasible way to make this work. Also, what you're all not aware of is we have judges' orders that come out. I have one in particular right now that I've got to go to Mount Vernon and look at a lady's home and make sure we find it to be sufficient for her to live in. Had one this week. We had to drive a guy to federal prison. Judge said, when you get him to prison and they take him, cut his monitor off. So that takes time away from your office as well. Just things like that are going through, and I want to make sure you're aware of. And something else you may not be aware of, I was informed yesterday that our office is moving to the courthouse basement. Our monitors, this is why we don't hook them up at the jail or in the sheriff's department basement. They will not pick up in a basement. How we have to work around that is one employee has to go outside with the inmate and one has to stay inside, and we call them on the phone and say, okay, they're hooked up, we've got them, they're ready to go, because we can't get a signal inside. So just a thought, we may have to be looking into an antenna. I'm not sure how that works, or something that we can make that feasibly work. Any questions?
Doug, can you feel any relief?
It's amazing, Bill Ray. I mean, yet Michelle will have 41 or 42 in court tomorrow. Of course, court's closed today. And Doug's almost 300.
And I project by December, I was asked what I projected, and I realized that we said 50, but I project by December to have 70 people. As long as the physical court's willing to go along, I'm willing to put them on and monitor them and be of any assistance I can.
It wouldn't bother me if you had all 300 there.
Well, there's a few that need to stay in there.
Okay, Michelle, thanks. Appreciate it. Any other department heads? If not, comments from magistrates. Greg?
I went down a week ago Friday and seen Arbuckle starting work on it, and appreciate starting to get it worked on, so hopefully get it open back up before too long. So I'd like to thank Leroy and them for down there starting on it. Other than that, that's all.
Roger?
I don't have much, Judge. Just noticed all across the county, the county road department, and everybody's been a little busy here in the last month or two, so just appreciate what all they've done. I just mentioned to my wife yesterday that I noticed the road they had just mowed, just seemed like a few days ago, and I said it's grown pretty quick, and then today they're mowing it. So they're staying on top of it as much as they can, and went through a spell there where the grass didn't grow, and they was kind of idle with that part of it, and all of a sudden it's probably a busy time for them to try to keep up with it, but we appreciate it.
It is. Bill Ray?
Yeah, I want to recognize the Madison County Conservation District. They were recognized this year for being the 2011 Conservation District of the Year for the East Region. It's a pretty good accomplishment for Madison County Group, and they were recognized based on innovative projects that they do, like this composting experiment that we got going on at Meadowbrook Farm, and it's kind of cutting edge, and we got this water quality improvement experiment going on at Will Green Lake, where we fenced off some cattle grazing, keeping cattle out of the lake, and the dead animal grant that they get for us, and they recognized the fiscal court and our support when they presented at the state convention a week or so ago. So just want to give a shout out to the Madison County Conservation District and a good job that they're doing.
They are, really are. Got a great staff. Larry?
No comment, Judge.
Okay, comments from audience? Anybody like to approach the court in the audience today? If not, then a motion be in order to pay the claims and approve the transfers.
So moved.
Second.
Master King,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Clark.
Yes. Next court date, I don't know.
August 28th.
August 28th will be the next court date, and that will be here in Richmond. And with that, thank everybody for coming. We appreciate it. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.